Hi there! Today we are going to talk about Hunting November by Adriana Mother. And this is the second one in the Killing November series, and I have to say that I love this one. In the first one, if you haven't read the first one, just stop watching because there's going to be spoilers of the first one in the review I'm going to make. So, yeah. In the first one, we got to meet November facing this kind of secret society called Strategia, and she discovers that she's part of that society, that her parents trained her in a way that she didn't realize that she was training for something else. So just in case that she needed to be prepared for something else, because it was very like, she felt like she was like in some sort of medieval times, like sort in a castle with no internet, no lights, not anything, and she was training in that school in things like poisons and knives and swords and all kind of crazy things. And she begins to discover, as I say, that her her father, actually because her mother died when she was very young, had been kind of training her, preparing her for something, but she didn't knew about all this strategy stuff, about all the families, about all the power and all the secrecy. So it was nice to see how it all worked inside their school, how they were being prepared for what comes next. And in this book, we are going to follow November. In the first one, when it all ends, she is offered the chance to go outside and try to find her father or remain in the school. So November decides that she's going to go outside and try to find her father because she knows that she is at risk, and she has discovered lots of things about who her parents really are and what places they hold in the Strategia world. So she decides that she's going to go outside and see if she can find her father and save his life. So in this book, we are going to see how Strategia actually work outside this school, how they mingle with unsuspecting humans, and how they affect the story around them. So for me, that was very nice because in the first one, as I say, you have the life of Strategia in the academy, in the school they go to prepare themselves, and here we see how they behave and how they work outside. So for me that was very nice. Also, there's lots of things that I enjoy about this book, and one of them is that we have November in the first book thinking that she wants to go back to the life that she had. She wants to go back to Pembroke, she wants to find her best friend Emily again, and she wants to get back to her old life. And in this book she's going to see how it might not work, because she is not the first person, the same person that left. She has changed. She has learned things about herself, about her family, about what she's supposed to do. And when she goes back home, because she wants to, to search for her father, and she begins there at their home, she realizes that she has changed, that she has secrets, that she has a whole new life that she doesn't knew that was there waiting for her. And I did love how the author presents us with all these remembrances she had of herself, the expectations that she had, what university she was going to go, what they were going to do, Emily and her together. And now she finds herself thinking that maybe she has to let go of that all expectations because everything has changed. And I did love to see this here, because I love to have a book that makes you reflect about how life changes depending on your choices or the choices that are presented to you. And I like that this character reflects on that it's not, that she's not taking all in a stride without giving second thoughts to all the things that she had and lost and all the changes, and I love that. And here we are going to find her and us just following the tracks of her father, and it's all done in very Strategia-like style. I'm not going to say much about it, but let's say that she is going to be traveling through the world with lots of resources, because Strategia have a lot of resources in buildings, in planes, in cars, in money, so that's not going to be a shortcoming for them. And I love how she has to exchange information and just look for clues and everything, so she can get her readings and kind of sort of know where her dad can be and what's going to happen to him. And I love that she teams up with Ash, and I thought I was going to miss the old gang, but yeah, surprises are going to come through in this book. So I did love to see how it all pans out, and this book was very hair pounding, very fast paced. It was like seeing an action movie. It was amazing. I did love to see that all the things that November learned in her life with her parents, with her father, that it all pans out and it serves her in this new world that she is in now. And I love how she stands for things that she doesn't like. If she finds that something is not as it should be, if she sees injustices, she is going to, you know, to raise her voice and say this stops here. And I love that. And I love that sometimes this kind of behavior costs her something, but I love how real and how human she is, despite of trying to be, you know, a strategy tells you that you don't have to feel for anyone, that you have to be like your own island. I love how she is out there trying to change all of that, you know. And I love the relationship she has with different characters. I love how she is taking things with Ash, going into new territory. I love the relationship she has with Lila, with Mateo, with Arya. Arya, for me, is one of the best characters, and so is Ines. So I love to see all the interactions between the characters, because all of them are quite fleshed out and are very real and are very consistent. Even though they change and they do things that maybe you weren't expecting them to do, you can understand the progression they did take. So, you know, to be from A to B, and it's very believable, all of that. And I did love how it all wraps up in the end. And now I don't know if this was supposed to be a duology or if it's going to be more books coming, but I did love this book, and I really enjoyed this one. Also, there's a thing I thought, this book, especially the first one, it kind of reminded me of the role-playing game Vampire, with all the different clans. You know, you have the Trimmer, you have, you know, the La Sombra, you have, and it reminded me to that, because there's the different families, and all the families have, you know, certain abilities or traits, and it kind of reminded me of that, since the magic powers that the blood confers those vampires in the Vampire the Masquerade. But if you like that world, you're going to love this one, because you have these different families with different mottos, with different abilities, with different traits, and all of that feels very real. It feels constructed, as the book explains. It comes from very ancient times, and you believe that. And yeah, if you like that kind of world that Vampire Masquerade presents, you're going to love these books too. So yeah, I do recommend them to you if you like this kind of thrillery, fast-paced book in which, you know, nothing is what it seems, that you have to second guess everyone's motives, and you have to be very observant about details in the people's faces, and about the things they say and the things they don't say, and when you are against an enemy. And yeah, it's amazing. Pick this up. Thank you for watching. Bye.